Okay, welcome to our Ed Talk, Educational Talk. The title is we're going to talk about language policy this time and specifically the MTB MLE. We'll have a quick insights and reactions coming from different workplace that we are connected on. Like, for example, the tertiary education, the College of Teacher Education, and the Department of Education. So, together with us right now, we'll have Sir Russell, Sir Jamar, and yours truly. To
Good evening,
begin
Sir
with,
Jen.
good evening, gentlemen. All right. To begin with, well, I
Giving
like
sis.
to go first with a background on MTB MLE. There was a paper entitled "Starting Where the Children Are," and it talks about different language policies in the country. We'll just have a go through of these policies so that we would understand why we have MTB MLE as of this time. Let me scan over the paper here. Okay, there is a table where it talks about the policies in the Philippines or in the country. The first policy that is stated here is actually in 1901. The policy talks about Education Act 74, but in the Education Act 74, it focused only on using English. Perhaps because American tried to colonize us and they wanted us to learn English so that they could communicate with us along the way. So it was called the monolingual education policy. So they enforced to us to use English during the time. In fact, there were around like 500 soldiers who were called Thomasites who taught English to us as a starting point. And along the way, in 1937 and 1940, there was an executive order 134 and EO 263 where it now constitutes in adopting Tagalog as the national language in 1937. So at this point of time, it's no longer English, but we're focusing now on Tagalog as the national language. Um, Maybe at this time we're trying to establish our own national language. So Tagalog was how do you call that, the most spoken language in the country. So a lot of people would say why not Bisaya or Cebuano or other languages? Why Tagalog? Because at that point Tagalog was the language where it has a proper grammar already, it has grammar books already, so maybe that's the reason why it was used, no? And then in 1957, Revised Educational Act was the Board of National Education provides the use of vernacular. So from English to Tagalog, we are now adding and recognizing the medium of instruction. One of that is the vernacular, using the regional languages that we have. And then 1973, it's the famous bilingual education. So we go back to Filipino. This time, it's no longer Tagalog, it's Filipino and English. And then Dex Order in 52 in 1987. It is same with bilingual education, but this time it tries to give specific subjects where to use specific languages. Example, English used in science, mathematics. These are the subjects that they use English as the medium of instruction, and the rest could be used Tagalog or Filipino. And right now in 2009, it's the DepEd Order 74, Multilingual Education Policy. This is the first time they have implemented and crafted the initial or the recent language policy of the country, which is the DepEd Order 74. Okay, just to begin our discussion and roll, because it's gonna be like a question and answer discussion for us to really talk about the MTB MLE. So we're just gonna go with our insights. But before that, I've seen a video on published in ANC, which we could be the starting point of our discussion this particular time. The title of the video is DepEd considers dropping the mother tongue base in the teaching in the new curriculum. Um, let's hear it.
Mother tongue as a required subject. An education expert, however, believes the proposed policy will be counterproductive. Ada Perez tells us why.
Oranges sa Tagalog ito ay tinatawag na
Kahel, magaling.
Types of fruits integrated with counting are teacher Christopher's lessons for his grade 3 students. In his 5 years teaching the Tagalog mother tongue, he noticed children have shown importance for one's own language and culture. But he believes there should be a focus on when the mother tongue should be used.
Yung tinuturo ko kasi sa mother tongue, na ituturo na rin sa ibang subject. No, lalong-lalo yan sa Filipino. Yung ibang subject naman doon ay yung iba nasa English na na-translate siya into Filipino. Mas maganda siguro kung mas mag-focus na lang no yung sa primary no sa reading, writing and arithmetic na lang muna.
Math teacher Jerry admitted even if he teaches terms in English, students still learn using the language they understand.
Mas comfortable ng bata sa Tagalog kapag nagtuturo kami ng mathematics. Kasi mas naintindihan nila yung aming ginagamit na terms.
Under the current curriculum, the mother tongue-based multilingual education is being taught as a separate subject in grades 1 to 3. English subject is taught starting from the third quarter of grade 1 until grade 6. But if the DepEd draft of the revised K-10 curriculum gets approved, the mother tongue subject will be removed. Mother tongue will only be considered as a language and literacy resource or background knowledge and foundation of students. This is aimed at helping students better understand Filipino and English, which will be strengthened from grades 1 to 3. In the draft curriculum, students must be fluent in Filipino upon reaching grade 3 and in English as a second language. But an education expert believes the removal of the mother tongue subject is worrisome.
Kung sasabihin mo, English only, Filipino only, okay, hindi naman lahat ng bata, yun ang kanilang, kunyari yung teacher, matatas naman siya sa waray, magaling siya sa waray, kaya niya magsulat ng waray, bakit po sasabihin sa teacher na hindi ka pwede magwaray? Dahil sa policy na to. So parang it's hindering the process of learning recovery. So isang, tapos, lalo na yung reading recovery.
Arzadon adds the learning materials and strategies that teachers learn to teach mother tongue-based education will go to waste.
So it will entail a lot of work for DepEd to shift, to rework their curriculum. Kailangan na naman ng teachers training. Kasi ang existing framework is children learn to read in their mother tongue. They learn to read and write in Filipino and English using their mother tongue as marami ng lesson plan.
The Komisyon sa Wikang Filipino meanwhile said it will continue to promote the national language Filipino and native languages.
Mandato po ng Komisyon sa Wikang Pilipino ang pagpapalaganap, paglinang, pananaliksik ng wikang pambansang Filipino at kasabay noon ang paglinang, pagpapalaganap, preserbasyon ng mga katutubong wika.
Other changes on the draft curriculum include teaching the West Philippine Sea and the Hague Tribunal decision, junking the historical claims of China to grade 10 students. Also under the grade 10 Araling Panlipunan curriculum is the teaching of the effects of the pandemic, climate change, gender discrimination, and same-sex union, human rights issues like red tagging, trolling, and extrajudicial killings, and even voter education. The DepEd invites the public to send feedback to the draft curriculum guidelines for kinder to grade 10 until May 3. Ara Perez, ABS-CBN News.
Okay. All right. So, gentlemen, it actually talks about dropping already of the MTB-MLE, what was crafted in 2009. So, at the end of our short discussion, maybe we could give a recommendation as to do we agree on that, or what's our thoughts about it. I am happy that we will be coming from different perspectives for this particular discussion. No, like for example, Sir Jaymar will be really from on the ground because he would be talking about in the perspective of that, but his experience and more or less experiences of his co-teachers along the way and leaders in the ground. And then Sir Russell also could give us a perspective of does it working in the tertiary education and especially teaching in other courses and professionals as well at of this time. And in my end is like how do we prepare our soon-to-be teachers in teaching the MTB MLE and considering that the DepEd order right now is trying to make reconsiderations of dropping the mother tongue base as one of our language and recent policy. So maybe we could start the ball rolling. Okay,
All
okay,
right.
Sir Russell, gonna start.
Yeah, I mean, that was MTB MLE has been a very controversial language policy. But if I may ask
Yes,
you,
sir.
gentlemen, what is or what are your reactions about or to the DepEd Order number 74? Like especially you, Sir Jamar, from the DepEd perspective. What are your thoughts about the eradication or the removing of MTB
Removal.
MLE in the curriculum or the removal of MTB MLE in the curriculum?
Yes, sir. As from the perspective of a teacher like me, I believe that just the same with the reactions of my co-teachers. Of course, my initial reaction was this a sort of optimism in concern, optimism because I believe that it can reduce the burden of the teachers in having this language, teaching multi language in the classroom. But however, it raises concerns just like because we have different programs like um, learning recovery from the pandemic. So what about those things since it has started um, basically using the MTBMLE framework? So what will happen to those programs? So
Yeah.
more or less, our teachers in the DepEd are optimistic and because it is already a policy, wala namin mahimo kundi musunod lang as teachers, as human as we are, because we are
Yeah.
just mandated. Um, yeah, that's it for my initial reaction, sir.
How about
That's
you,
it, sir.
Surgeon? How about you,
Yeah.
Surgeon? As somebody or as a teacher who are preparing, who are equipping teachers, future teachers to be teachers or in-service teachers in the future. What are your thoughts about the removal or the eradication of MTB MLE?
Yeah, sure. First, my reaction to MTBME is really I'm happy about its goal and its promise, because its promise is to improve literacy. Its promise is to
Yeah.
improve and protect the linguistic rights. It's a promise to improve student proficiency in their first language and to their second language. So I'm very much happy with this policy. But the implementation is a different story. So,
Yeah.
but the goal and the aim, I'm very much happy about it. Um, my reaction, quick reaction of dropping it is that I'm a bit skeptic because first, um, what could be the possible reason? Is it scientific? Is it have we given enough literatures and studies that would really um, tell us that we really have to stop this, in a
Yeah.
different context. So because if
Mm.
the goal and the aim is not the problem, the problem is in the implementation. So I will be very sad if if this will be removed just because a new secretary or a new head will demand that, no. But I would be very sad. However, I am still the same manner with Sir Zaymar. I'm still optimistic that they are making good decisions on why they are dropping
Yes.
it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that, Surgeon. I mean, I
Yes.
believe this MTB MLE or this language policy was crafted or created with a positive thoughts in mind. So as for me, removing MTB MLE from DepEd could widen learning gaps, especially for children in rural and in indigenous communities, especially those who rely on their mother tongue for better understanding. Um, Another thing is that while these challenges, like the shortage or teachers lack of experience or training exists in the implementation of this language policy, I believe that more than eradicating the program, I think the best way to combat or to to solve this problem is to improve the implementation of program and you know just give resources and equip teachers with the necessary knowledge and skills for them to be effective implementers and for students as well to benefit from the language program because as I have said, it was created with a positive thoughts in mind, right?
Yeah. Great, Sir Russell. Um,
Yes,
So
agree, sir.
just put this in context. Right now they are still planning. So what is the current status of DepEd order from the DepEd themselves in that particular institution and department and also in the teacher education institution. So um, can we talk about first on what's the current status of the MTBMLE in the field, Sir
In the
Jaymar?
defense,
Sir
sir.
Jim.
Yes, sir. In the field, sir. Yes, sir. Currently in our field, yes, that it's true that MTB MLE is abolished,
Okay.
but I can say that it's not totally abolished because um, in DepEd we're still using MTB as a medium of instruction, not totally abolishing it, but we just abolish MTB as a learning area or as a subject.
Ah,
So the shadow of MTB MLE framework is still there because because our goal is to facilitate our kids, our children so that they can understand more. That's why we use vernacular. We can use, we
Yeah,
may or
yeah.
we may not use vernacular in delivering the instruction to facilitate their learning, sir. So I believe that it's on the bright side, we can say that the shadow of its framework is still there, and
Yeah.
ah,
that's what I'm saying recently. How about you, sir? What's your in the higher ed?
all
Uh
right. Yeah, Sir Russell.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well,
Mr.
yeah,
Russ.
as for me, with what I have learned, and with what I have read with different sources, it says that starting 2024 and 2025 school year, MTB-MLE will no longer be a separate subject in the curriculum, but will continue as a medium of instruction for kindergarten to grade 3 students,
That's right,
which
sir.
I think, yeah, am I right, Sir Jaymar?
Yes, sir. You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Which I believe is it's like a win-win situation because with the stories and the narratives I've heard from both parents and students, they really find it hard to grasp or decipher words with the MTBMLE because as they said, they're very pretentious and highfalutin. And yeah, I believe that we can use I mean MTBMLE or our own language for instruction and while not compromising, the quality, especially with the use of English language being the language of business and the universal language. How about you, Sir Jen?
All right. In that standpoint of first of all, what I have understood with your perspective is that MTMMLE as a subject is removed, and then but as a medium of instruction is still part of it. Yeah, because it is basically under in the 1987 constitutions that there has to be an auxiliary of the regional languages. No? So in the standpoint of teacher education, we have made significant adjustments of in the curriculum in incorporating MTBMLE. In fact,
Yeah.
our Bachelor of Elementary Education, they have a separate subject on MTBMLE as their own
Mhm.
subject on how to teach it.
Well,
We
that's
have
great.
yes. We have taught specialized courses
Yeah.
also. Example in the English majors, they don't have MTBMLE, but we have subjects like which I am currently teaching now. First is that principles and theories in language acquisition. So we discuss there how important first language in developing the second language. So it's part of that. We also talk about language, culture, and society. So it's very much connected, and even these very subject language policies. So we discuss several language policies so that they would understand how to implement it on the respective institutions. So more or less, I guess the institutions or tertiary education is preparing the students in teaching and delivering MTB MLE. But again, it will be different when you're in the field. But
Yeah.
in the standpoint of the TEIs, we
Yes,
are
that's true.
preparing the teachers for that in the new curriculum.
All right. Quick question for a quick response, Sir Jamer and Sir Jen. What do you think are the weaknesses? I mean, the strengths first. What do you think are the strengths of MTB MLE,
Mhm.
Sir Jendolf?
Very quick. It has a clear policy framework. I mean, it has a solid theoretical foundation and it has an extensive research. So, meaning other ASEAN countries do the same thing. In fact, some of our frameworks were copied from them. It provides a comprehensive guidelines. It is also promoting linguistic rights. So, it's very
Yeah.
important for me to promote linguistic rights and inclusivity. Like wherever
Yeah.
you are, I mean, it's nice that your own regional language is being studied. That's a strength for me.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you know, there is a what we call birth and dying of language. No, there
True.
are new languages are approaching and emerging because of pidgins and creoles. But
Yeah.
at the same manner, there are languages also that are dying. One of
Yeah.
that because it was not taught. It was not taught. So I'm very happy that regional languages are being taught in a formal classroom. So for me, it's a big strength. It's a big strength.
How about you, Sir Jamor?
Yes, sir. I'm also with Surgeon's idea or that MTBML in the context of socialization. It can socially and culturally make the learners aware of their native language, sir.
All right. Well, as for me, yeah, I'm with you guys. I mean, if you have a very good foundation of your mother tongue of your first language, I believe it's easier for you to learn other languages, and that's based on theory or in theories, which I believe is the very goal of MTBMLE. And I love that
Yes,
MTBMLE
sir.
is very inclusive. That's my 2 cents of the topic. But how about the weaknesses of MTBMLE, Sir Jamar?
The weaknesses, sir. This study that says that the weekend is the role of parents' belief because when they say that parents do not believe that MTB will not be successful, of course it opposes and it contradicts the idea to of the program to be successful, sir. So there's this
Yeah.
surprisingly the parents um yeah knowledge on that in
Uh,
expectation of the program. So, as a recommendation, it
Can you do it one more time, Sir Jamar?
would be
Sir Jamar?
uh, beneficial for those policymakers as well as the parent. Yeah, it's very important to be this policy to be more successful, sir.
Ah, yeah. I couldn't agree more to that. How about you, Sir Jen?
this particular weakness, I found it during the training in UP when they talk about possible disconnect between the maker of the instructional materials and the
Yeah,
people implementing it. Because
true, true.
maybe the perspective this is when I have made some aha moments. Maybe the perspective of the maker of the instructional materials of MTBMLE is that to preserve language. So when it's preserving language,
True.
it use old versions of languages. All right.
Mm, yes, sir.
Yeah,
It wasn't clear to us that the goal is for us to use the conversational language. And when the preservation and conversational language becomes a problem, then the implementation really becomes a problem. So maybe it's the understanding of the maker of these instructional
yeah,
materials, perhaps that could be a disconnect from how it should be implemented. At the same manner, this is also my weakness part is that I see to it that why would I learn my first language? No, it's my first language, so that could be a concern because in one classroom there will be a lot of people. There will be
Mm-hmm.
a lot of first languages, right? So it's not necessarily Bisaya lang in one classroom. That could be a weakness.
Uh, short short question, I mean follow-up question, Surgeon. That being said, what is or what are your recommendations with that weakness or weaknesses you have noticed with the program or
Yeah,
with the language program?
very quick, just more robust collaboration with the DepEd
True.
and higher institutions. They should be clear because the maker of the instructional materials or some of the language policy makers are from the tertiary education. So
True.
there has to be a great collaborations from these institutions.
Couldn't agree more to that. I mean, based on my experience with, with teachers and the parents and students I've talked to, they really find it hard because they lack the resources and words or the words they use in their some of the resources they provided to teachers and students, like the modules and all, are very pretentious and highfalutin that even parents find it hard to grasp or to decipher the words. That, for example, idibuho, and it just means draw. Like, can you imagine that students and parents having to translate or having to understand such pretentious and highfalutin language? So they really find it hard to, to understand or to grasp. And how much more in the classroom or in the discussion when these teachers are made to conform and to follow words in their instruction that are very, very profound, as I've said. But as for me, to improve MTBMLA with that weaknesses I have said, DepEd should focus on addressing key challenges such as providing more resources. As you have said, Surgeon, modules and manuals, they're made from tertiary school levels and also they really find it hard. So I think the better need to contextualize and provide more contextualized resources. And of course, training to teachers in multi-language education. And lastly, ensuring a smooth transition to other languages. That's, I believe, my recommendations in order to better implement and to improve the program.
All right.
All right.
Gentlemen, we have out of time, but thank you so much for all your insight. It was beautifully given. I appreciate all your thoughts for tonight. And may this conversation rolling, not just here in the Zoom, but along the way with some experts in the
Yes.
field.